Hello, everybody. How you doing? It's Damon with another list or some kind of a list. In this case, I want to do a challenge. I'm going to challenge Chris Ludek and OTR Essential. The same is what will be your all-time best WB roster? And to me, it's a challenge because it's like there's some people that basically I cannot justify putting them on the card. Because to me, if I had to basically build a perfect WWE roster, it could be split against both. It could have both brands. So in this case, it could be. It could also not be. But there's some athletes I could not justify putting on there. Just do nothing. I would have a list of 10 main eventers, 10 upper carders, 10 upper mid carders, 10 mid carders, 10 lower mid carders, and 10 enhancement talents. There would have been at least 10 tag teams. And here's the thing, the distinction is the tag teams, you can have a wrestler that I pick out in the singles rank cannot be in a tag team. And I will pick 20 women. So you could split across both roster. You could actually do that easily. Because honestly, if I take out just one roster, it'd be too much. But, and I'm not going to split them across both roster today because honestly, it'd be kind of too harsh and I don't have the time for this. But if basically it will be my dream roster, starting with the main eventers. Let's start it up. So, number 10. Well, they're not a number. What would be the 10 main eventers that I would take? First off, you gotta basically think about money. You gotta think about basically the money grossing people, the money highest money grossing wrestlers, and who else can be better than Stone Cold Steve Austin? I would have him be on the roster as a main eventer. And yes, as much as people might not like him, number two will be Hulk Hogan. I have to put him on there. Like he generates a lot of money, a lot of buzz, so I would put him on there. It'd be Hulk Hogan in his prime, of course. Hulk Hogan in the 80s and Stone Cold in the late 90s. So already there you get getting a lot of money. Number three, of course, you have The Rock. All of them in their prime. Imagine the money you would rake in easily for that. Then you have my personal favorite. You have Shawn Michaels, number four. Could be from Ruthless Aggression era. You could have it basically this because you had a better attitude there. You could have Bret the Hitman Hart. That'd be number five based on the roster. You're feeling this. You're feeling basically all the talent already there in the main event. Number six, The Undertaker. I cannot justify putting a main event on this list of my dream W roster without The Undertaker. Number seven, the American Hero, Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle will be on the list. Number eight, the Macho Man Randy Savage has to be on there. Ooh, yeah. I probably just did the worst imitation of Randy Savage ever. So, right now, we have Stone Cold Steve Austin, Hulk Hogan, The Rock, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, The Undertaker, Kurt Angle, Macho Man Randy Savage. Who are going to be the last two, Eldaf? Number nine, Daniel Bryan. Yes, 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 I'm going to put him there. And number 10 is AJ Styles. You need a bit of work rate. You need a big match, big people who really can work. So in this case, a lot of great workers in Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Undertaker, Kurt Angle, Savage, Bryan, Styles, and you got basically. Uh, so you also have basically people who can be basically more brawling, like Hogan and Taker, and The Rock. So already there, it's like they know how to work. They do know how to work. They're very proficient in terms of technical wrestling, but they're very charismatic. It's like win-win for everybody. Now, for the upper mid carders that qualifies the guys that would make them above the IC title. They could still be IC champion, but they are above the IC title, but below the WWE title. They're like in between, but can always challenge the WWE title and be credible. So, of course, I have to put ONR on that list. I will self put the British Bulldog. So he kind of sets my bias towards the New Heart Foundation. Number three, because I think he's not getting enough respect, is Tito Santana. The guy really knew how to get there. So it's like watch basically his cage steel cage match with Greg Valentine. He knew how to get eat. He knew how to basically get the crowd to pop for him. So I would keep Tito Santana from the 80s. I would put him there. Number four has to be Eddie Guerrero. the late great Eddie Guerrero, because he always knew what to do in the ring. But maybe I wouldn't put him as a main eventer because, sometimes could have issues, and I think it'd be a very good pick there. So you can't lose with Eddie Guerrero. Number five, it's one of my personal recent favorites. I don't know why he got caught this year. How about Braun Strowman? I always felt like Braun Strowman, like sometimes, I don't know why, but his face reminds me of Crush when in 1996. I don't know why. There's a lot of similarity because Crush's look in 1996 and Braun Strowman basically with his long hair. But Braun Strowman basically came back 2016, 2018, 2017, 2018. That's the Braun Strowman I want. He was kicking ass and go basically impressing people with his feat of strength. That's what I want out of a superstar, and I would like for this to continue with Braun Strowman. Number six, the late great Bam Bam Bigelow. Bam Bam. So yeah, I would keep it. And as an aside, another Bruce Pritchard stupid stuff they said recently is said that basically Jim Johnson wasn't that good because most of the stuff started to resemble itself. Newsflash, Bruce. Everybody who composed music usually gonna find that basically some of their piece of music resemble each other. Hans Zimmer did a lot of movie scores and is probably the best movie scores composer of this generation that still is in the business, and probably one of the top three movie composers ever. But yet there's some pieces of this that sometimes resemble one each other because they compose so much. After a while, a lot of this percolates into other pieces of music. Same thing with Jim Johnson. Jim Johnson was basically the Hans Zimmer of wrestling. So we need to put a bit more respect there. And quite frankly, Bruce Pritchard, I bet you if Triple H decided that right now he doesn't want to have music, you'd agree and say it's the best decision ever. Prove me wrong. But anyway, Bam Bam Bigelow was a very, very talented big man, and I would keep him on the roster above the IC title, but below the WWE title. Number seven, I know OTRS will love this. I would keep Psycho Sid. Psycho Sid could have been basically like saying, "Ooh, he's intimidating," but then he talks in the promos and I was entertained as all hell. It always makes me smile, and that's very important. And he knew his character, knew how to play off this. Number eight, I want big man. What better man than Yokozuna? I just believe like if somebody tried to do basically wrestle, oh, I want basically as tell them that I just want to wrestle the style I'm accustomed to, and I hope you don't mind Yoko. I just imagine Yoko giving him a bonsai drop and knocking him out of their ass. And yeah, Yokozuna was very good for his side. I mean, trust kicks, belly to belly, and bonsai. The moment he hits bonsai, I just try imagine somebody in today's world tell him they're gonna kick out his bonsai drop. I just imagine somebody trying and failing miserably. So yeah. And speaking of somebody who would try something else, how about with Andre Giant? I would put Andre Giant as basically this because he was an attraction. I don't want him to be WWE champion. But imagine Yoko versus Andre. Even if it's a tag match, don't tell me there wouldn't be quite friendly and basically a buzz going on around there. So yeah, be interest there. There would be a great interest there. And yeah, I would think would be very, very interesting there. And 10, their current WWE champion, I'll put Drew McIntyre on there. He could still challenge the WWE title, but could still be above the IC title, but he could also be in the upper mid card. Now, for the mid carders, is the people that envision being the IC title picture and probably staying there. I would have Razor Ramon, the bad guy, the late great Scott Hall. I felt like basically he saw this as his world title, and I would keep him there. I would have the underrated Adam Bomb or Rat, whichever, Brian Clark. I would put him in the IC title division and actually would have get him to win the Intercontinental title. I would put the world's most dangerous man, Ken Shamrock, in the IC title division because while he wasn't that good in promos, his intensity was off the roof, and the moment he snapped, you knew he meant business. I would have Mr. Perfect because it's Kurt Angle. Come on, why not? You would have the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, because he was very entertaining in promos, but I don't hence him as WWE champion. I would have The Miz because I feel like he deserves more respect, and I would love for him right now to win the US title soon. Like at last, Ura as a singles competitor. So I would put Rey Mysterio as well as Dominic Mysterio on there. So yeah, because Dominic's so damn entertaining and Rey is just legendary. I would put Jake the Snake Roberts in the Ice Title division as well as Rowdy Piper. So to recap my upper mid carders, I would have Owen Hart, British Bulldog, Tito Santana, Eddie Guerrero, Braun Strowman, Bam Bam Bigelow, Psycho Sid, Yokozuna, Andre the Giant, and Drew McIntyre. For the main eventers, I would have Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Hulk Hogan, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, Undertaker, Kurt Angle, Randy Savage, Daniel Bryan, and AJ Styles. For the mid-carders, I would have Razor Ramon, Adam Bomb, Ken Shamrock, Mr. Perfect, Ted DiBiase, The Miz, Rey Mysterio, Jake the Snake Roberts, Rowdy Piper, and Dominic Mysterio. For the lower mid-carders, which would challenge for the Cruiserweight and Lightweight title, the European title, the US title, or the Hardcore title, you have X-Pac, because X-Pac! Yeah, because he was very, is basically was very good at the ring. So yeah, I would put him there. I would put Al Snow, because he deserves more respect, and I would love for him to be in the Hall of Fame. About Doink the Evil Clown, played by Matt Bourne. I would have the Hurricane Elms. I would have Tatanka. I would have Goldust. I would have the Lethal Weapon Steve Blackman. I would have the champion of Big Boots Test on there. I would have the model Rick Martel. And I have Kofi Kingston. Those will be my lower mid carders. And the enhancement talent, I'll just say it. I'll have Barry Horowitz, Brooklyn Brawler, Dwayne Gill, Iron Mike Sharp. I would have Jekyll because I hate Don Callis. So let's put him on there. I would have Dolph Ziggler. I would have Akira Tozawa. I would have Jeff Jarrett as an enhancement talent. I would have Buddy Rose because he's a big leaguer. Anybody who wish to listen to WrestleMania 1 should know the reference. And because I have nobody else, maybe Chavo Guerrero Jr. And for the tag teams, 10 tag teams. First, I have to put up my personal favorite tag team, WWE tag team of all time. Demolition is going to be on there, followed swiftly by the Legion of Doom. Number 3, it's a slash because I put a slash because, as I mentioned, my rebooking WrestleMania 14, I would put them basically as a trio because it was about 3 wrestlers and 1 wrestler across 2 teams. It'd be the New Age Outlaws and the Smoking Guns. So Road Dogg, Jesse James, Badass Billy Gunn, and Bart Gunn. All of them will be a trio, basically the Faithless Freebird, which we don't know who's going to wrestle. It's going to be a New Age Outlaws, Smoking Guns, but they're both being a tag team. You would have the Natural Disasters because I couldn't keep Earthquake could put him in the singles rank, but I think as a tag team you could. I would have the Scott and Rick, the Steiner brothers, on the roster. And similarly to New Age Outlaws, number 6, I'd have Pierre Carl Ouellet. I would have Jacques Rougeau and Raymond Rougeau. So you both have the Fabulous Rougeau brothers, and you have the Quebecers as a trio. 7, 8, 9 is the easiest. Hardys, Dudleys, and Edge and Christian. And finally, I end with number 10 will be the Usos brothers. Now, finally, for the woman, based on the woman's title picture, you would have Trish Stratus, you would have Jacqueline Moore, you have Lita, you would have Asuka, you got Victoria, you got Mickie James, you have Becky Lynch, Ivory, Charlotte Flair, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Bianca Belair, Chyna, Liv Morgan, Natalia, Stephanie Vaquer, Melina Perez, Bayley, Alundra Blaze, and last but not least, Luna Vachon. So that will be basically my dream roster. So I'm challenging you guys, OTRS Central and Chris, try to do it better. I dare you to. On that note, have a great one, guys. Bye.